I redrew this art piece 4 different times in 2 years. Here's how it went. Sorry for like the very dumb YouTuber intro. I had to grab your attention. It all started back in September 2023 when I looked on Pinterest for pose inspiration. I saw this pose and I knew I wanted to draw my 2 characters, Aiden and Arias, in it. I was very hyperfixated on them at the time. Definitely not now. So I decided to draw this piece. By the way, you can skip this part if you just want the process, but now I'm going to explain who these 2 are. So here's their backstory and lore. I have an animated series in the works, trailer out this summer, by the way, which is about Arias, the blue-haired liberal. It's a slice of life / drama / romance / comedy, in big quotes, about Arias finding himself and the people around him. It's LGBTQ+, enemies to lovers, ? Fake friends, coming of age, mental health, and overall a very character interaction-based story. But here's like the short description. Arias, an average high school student, had nothing interesting in her life until she decided to sneak away to Fran Bay, a rundown by the shore town, with her older brother, Sai, who is going there for college. There she makes a friend, Lillian, and his annoying smug friend, Aiden. Arias learns that making friends isn't easy, but when you do, it's totally worth it. Sorry for the Disney Channel type reenactment of it. I don't know how to put on a voice. Basically who Arias is, she's loud, carefree, talkative, really annoying, judgmental, and also very self-indulgent. And there she meets Aiden, who's kind of her opposite, since he's very smart, pessimistic, he's sarcastic, and very easily annoyed, and easily flustered, and cold towards basically everybody. The 2 become fake friends in order not to break Lillian's heart, because Lillian is best friends with Aiden, and Lillian's excited that Aiden's finally making other friends, because he thinks Aiden and Arias are friends, and they don't want to break Lillian's heart. So, episodes consist of stuff like getting a job in retail, fun, how to deal with lying, mental health, what happens when the person you hate is also your type, etc. Very important things that we all deal with every day. My main inspirations for the series are mostly those 1 season 12 episode slice of life animes, as well as other animes like Orange High School Host Club, Skate the Infinity, Bit of Fruits Basket, and Carol and Tuesday. What's happening here is the 2 competing to see who's best at karaoke to prove they can sing. I guess, I don't know, they get into dumb arguments all the time. And finally, here's the progress to see how the different pieces turned out. Well, not bye forever, because I assume you're gonna watch the rest of this video. But if you're not gonna watch the rest of this video, fuck you. Alright, I'm gonna raw dog this segment because I started just ranting about random stuff. So I'm gonna actually talk about the art piece instead of talking about a circle on the piece that no one cares about. Alright, now I'm gonna be talking about things that I liked and that I disliked. Things that I liked about this piece, the original. I like that, first of all, it is original. It is something that was kind of my idea. Like, I had a reference, but I didn't fully follow the reference. I like that. I also like that there's texture. I like that it's toothy, it's grainy, and I like that. I like that it has that, because if it didn't, it'd be boring. I like the colors, the color choices are nice. I like that I went somewhere cooler, because usually with my art, at least in this period of time when I drew this, I always leaned into warm pieces, but this time I did cool pieces. I made it cool, and you know what? I fuck with it. I like it. I like that the background fits in with the piece. It kind of does look like that they're just plastered in front of the background, but I like the background is kind of intentional in the way that it like has a swirl, so like it leads you around the piece rather than like has you looking at one spot. It's nice. What I dislike though, I don't like the rendering. It's both too messy and too neat in some places, and it's both over-rendered and under-rendered in a lot of places. It's bad. I don't like it. I also hate the outfits. It tells you absolutely nothing about either character. Anyway, on to the next one. Boom. Alright. I don't have the full speed paint for this one. Just kind of BS. So I just have the colored line art, which is boring. So, whatever. I hate this piece. But before I talk about that, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor. I'm just kidding. I wish I was sponsored though. My art at this time was not great. I was definitely at a low point. My art style changed a lot from September of 2023 to May of 2024. I didn't like my art at all. I was mostly focusing on character expressions and character interactions rather than improving anything else. And I feel like definitely their expression. They're more expressive in this one than the other one. Maybe it's just because they're different expressions. But I don't like it. I don't like it. They look very similar, and my art style this time was very, it's the nicest way I can put it, very ugly. Intentionally, but it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit the characters or the vibe that I was going for. So I feel like it wasn't a good choice to intentionally make it ugly. But I'll talk about the things I like though before I get into like the specific dislikes. What I liked about it, I like that their expressions, I talked about that before. Their expressions are very nice, very readable, and I like that. I also like Arias's hand on the right. I like that I stylized the microphones. Running nothing to say. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. I like that it's human made and not AI. And I think that's where it ends. Short list. So what I dislike about it is the rest. I don't like how I rendered it. Rendering's boring. The colors are hurting my eyeballs. And it's not saturated in a good way. It's saturated in a bad, awful, poopy way. The background was just a stolen background from the first piece, but like without adding anything really to it. So I don't like it. The shape language is boring me. The designs are boring me. And the art style is, again, it's just so ugly. I just don't like it. I really wish I liked it, gang, but I don't. But something that I can say that I like about that piece more than the next piece at least is that I like that at least it's entertained me in the way of how bad it is. You know what I mean? Because the next piece that you'll see, I'm just bored looking at it. Anyway, speaking of the next piece, so when writing my notes, I write about on a Google Doc what I like and what I dislike about the piece. All I wrote for this one was likes, it okay I guess, and dislikes, it okay I guess, so guess I'm gonna be raw dogging this one too. My art style at this time was very cute. I definitely leaned into what made my art good, the few things that it was. And I like that I did that. I like their shape language a little bit more in this one. I don't like though that they look more similar in this one than I feel like the last one. Like they look, it just could just be the art style because of how cartoony it is, but I feel like they look too similar. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's not showing off their differences very well. And that's definitely what I like about the first piece and even the second piece more, is their differences. It was definitely a very interesting process, because I struggled with the rendering Arias's face, I think a million times in this, maybe a bajillion times in this. Just, I'm gonna make you watch the full part, because holy shit. And you know what? It looks no different from how I started. But apparently me at the time was satisfied. So September 2024 me was fine with that, I guess. At some point I draw my friend's dog in the speed paint. So what up, Zeus? I don't know if it's just me, but I like the sketch and the base colors more than I like the outcome of the piece, because the rendering is, it's definitely an improvement. The hair is definitely an improvement. The clothes could be a little better, but I don't learn how to show clothing until the next piece. It's fine. It's not the best of my abilities, but it's not the worst thing I've done. It's really genuinely just okay. At this point of time with my art, I was very comfortable in my art style, and I feel like I didn't go outside the box at all for this piece, which is why I think I love the next piece so much, because I do so much more rendering than I'm used to, and I really push myself to work as hard as I can. So, on to the next piece. Yeah! What up, Shadow Wizard Money Gang? What's up? Guys, I don't think y'all understand how much I love this piece of art. I love this one so much. It's one of my favorite art pieces I've ever done. It's... Dude, when I drew Rice's face, I knew I was cooking. I knew I was cooking immediately. At this point in my life with my art, which is now, or at least at the time I'm recording, it is April 12th. I think I did this a few days ago. Nice. Okay. My art, I was at a low point, like one drawing before this, but this piece itself got me out of art blowing. Like it's genuinely, sorry, I'm glazing myself, but it's good. I just promise it's good. I promise, just wait. I'm cooking. I started to hate my art a lot because of one of the art classes I had. I wasn't motivated to do art. I didn't like what I drew, and I hated, this is gonna get a little deep. I didn't like myself as much as I usually did, so I did not like my art as much as I usually did. And you know what? Sometimes if you don't like yourself, the creative stuff you're gonna make isn't gonna turn out good either, because you're not gonna like it. If you don't love yourself, it's hard to make something to love. But with this piece, I started working on myself a little bit more, and I immediately my art skills just like skyrocketed. I don't know what happened, but something happened. I don't know how I started cooking, but I found equipment to cook with, and I started cooking. And so to talk about the things that I'm gonna start off with the things that I dislike, because it's mostly about the stuff in the beginning. I really don't like how I didn't integrate the chibis and like the whole text of karaoke into the outcome. I feel like I went and did the safer thing, which was not have that part included, but I really like what it adds to the sketch, and I'm sad I didn't do that, because it's nice, it's cute, and I like it. I also don't like the circle in the background, which you will see soon. I don't like the circle. It's not a perfect circle, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be one of those, well, here's another thing, it doesn't read well as what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be one of those, like, audio, equalizers, is that what they're called? No. It's like one of those audio things, the circle ones that you see in those YouTube videos all the time, where it's like, top 10, outros to use on YouTube, copyright free, in parentheses. Those things, it was supposed to be one of those things, but like stylized more, and I ended up just not doing that. But I wish I stuck with that, because I like that idea. That's cool. Like, it's karaoke, it's sound, it's music, it's fun. Sad I didn't do that. But to talk about the things that I do like, I really, really, really like their expressions. I feel like it shows their character more, and how they both deal with each other, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. It's supposed to show, like, how Aiden is, you know, this smug motherfucker, and Arias is, like, kind of giving in and giving up and just, like, letting him win at this whole competition of who can sing better. But also it's cute because he's like, oh shit, he's low-key he's like, hear me out. And I also like with this piece that I took what made the first piece so good, because it was always my favorite rendition, and I added onto that. I took what made that piece good and put that into this piece, and I really like that I did that instead of trying to steer away from the original, because I'm like, oh, my art is so much better now, I'm not gonna make stupid stuff like that. But no, you liked it at some point, so why not do it again, but improve on what it is rather than like what it could be. It's nice. I like it, and I like that I did that. I like the rendering. I finally learned how to render clothes, really only in 2 ways, which I need to start learning more about texture and also how that can affect a piece and everything. But I like that I started actually rendering clothes the way I used to focus on the face. Like, I would focus on the face and only render the face, and then I'd be like, we can have like cell shading or something. But no, I do rendering on the clothes now too, guys. Yay! Digital artist learns to render. Yay! I like the expression. Did I ever talk about the expressions? I did. I like the colors. The colors are nice. It's just their base colors for the series, but I made their eyes and mouths a little brighter. I think I made Arias' hair color a little bluer as well, just to match his shirt. Speaking of his shirt, I love the little design I added on it, and I want that as a shirt. I don't know what those little things are. I think they're like little fruit creatures. It's supposed to be Strawberry Co. merch, which is the Etsy shop his mom runs. Also, this is random, but at some point, I feel like it reminds me of like the Looney Tunes show art style when I like start adding color to the line art. I don't know why. I like their shapes. Their shapes are nice. They're very different shapes. Rice is definitely more round, while Aiden's more square and triangle, and I like that. I like it a lot. My other 2 notes on this piece is yum and smash, so that's basically just how I feel about it. And I like it a lot. It's cute. I tried putting in the karaoke thing at some point. Did not work at all. I didn't like any of the text that I used. So instead of focusing on the background, I started focusing on what I was rendering and what I was doing. And I also feel like this piece just adds more character than the other 3. I feel like you can really see how distinct they are in this specifically. My computer just turned off. Please tell me it's still recording. Yes, it is. Alright, the rendering process was pretty nice. I was struggling on Arias' face for a little bit. Again, as I always do. For some reason, sketching Arias is the easiest thing. It's like taking candy from a baby. Who doesn't like candy? But rendering him, it's like taking candy from a baby that likes candy. Was that a good analogy? Did you like it? Are you enjoying it? I enjoyed this piece. I enjoyed this piece a lot. It's cute. It's just so cute, guys. And I actually end up rendering. And I like that I end up rendering because I never do that. And it's nice. It was like 1 a.m. at this point in this piece when I was drawing this piece, and I was like, all right, I gotta go to bed. So guess what? I didn't just immediately upload it to Instagram being like, wow, look at this piece. I slept on it. I didn't sleep on the piece. I slept on my pillow while I was thinking about the piece, and I slept on what I should do different. That's what it was. And I was like, you know what? I can make the lighting even more lighting-esque. So I did, and oh my god, I feel like it just emphasized it so much more. For some people, maybe too dramatic. It was for me at first, but I don't know, I ended up kind of liking how dramatic it looked and how like stupidly bright it was. Maybe I'm just a hypocrite, and that's why I did my second piece so saturated, because I liked it at the time. Well, that's why I did all the pieces like that, because I liked what I did at the time. But I like how bright it ends up being. It's fun, it's nice, it's awesome. And I do kind of include the chibis, but they're just like in the background somewhere. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm just very proud of myself and how this turned out, because it's cute. It's so cute. I messed around with a bunch of filters, and the filters end up definitely helping a lot. You can't see in this piece itself very well, but if you zoom in, you can see that Arias has freckles and a chipped tooth. I don't know. It's not really a chipped tooth. It's more like I don't know. It's like, can a tooth be chipped from like the top instead of just the bottom? Not like the full top, just like a section of the top, because then it would fall out. Or maybe it's a tooth gap, but it's not like a middle tooth gap. It's like a side tooth gap. I don't know. Anyway, I just like this piece. So, all right. Anyway, surprise, surprise. I'm gonna rank my pieces. Welcome to my tier list maker. I'm gonna be ranking these pieces, the pieces I made. All right. So we have the first one. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's my second favorite one that I've made, and here's why. I'm gonna be putting it in awesome sauce. And number 2, I can't look at their faces without wanting to curl into a ball, take a gun, and point it to my head, because it hurts my eyes so much. I'd rather be dead than looking at this. It's dumb, it's stupid, and I don't like it. It's straight up doo-doo. It's caca, if you will. This is the third piece I made, and I think I'm gonna. It's cool, I guess. It's better than the other one, but I still don't like it. It's not good enough to be beautiful, but it's not bad enough to be in doo-doo. It does make my eyes hurt. It's not interesting. It's boring is what it is. I'm bored looking at it. It's fucking smashable. You know my art piece is good when Capri comments on it like 17 times in a row. You know it's gonna be good. I love this piece so much, actually. But like, generally speaking, I haven't been very happy with my art recently. I was kind of like in an art block situation, and I was also burnt out because of an art class of mine, and I was tired of making art, and I wasn't enjoying it at all. I hated drawing, and I hated my characters, and I hated myself. Crazy concept though. Crazy concept. Sorry guys, that got a little deep. Anyways, that was the tier. Those are the. Let me get my mouse out here. That was the tier list. I hope you agree. Okay, back to the video. And if this is the end of the video, thanks for watching the video. Okay, bye. Okay, I didn't know where to put this segment, this part in the video. It didn't really fit anywhere, but my best advice for how to improve the way that I did is, well, obviously to draw as much as you can. Not every day. Every day's too much, and unless you have the motivation to draw every day, don't. I got into art block because of how often I was drawing, so if you feel like you're going that route, dude, stop drawing. It's not gonna help you. I know people get the advice to practice every day. Even I've given that art advice before, but not everybody has it, the time or the energy to do it every day. So if you can't do it every day, don't do it every day. Also, another thing is, the biggest thing that got me to improve as much as I did was just drawing what I wanted. if obviously if you have to do professional work, I can't just do personal art all the time. But I'm still learning. I'm not in the industry yet, not even close to being in the industry. And I mostly just draw what I want. Every once in a while I'll do anatomy practice, or I will render a burger just to see if my rendering has improved. I'll watch a bunch of YouTube videos, which, by the way, dude, don't pay for those dumb ass like subscriptions on art and stuff. Either get an art book or watch YouTube videos. I cannot recommend it enough. And follow along with the videos. You gotta practice what you see. You gotta put put into perspective. You gotta pick up what they're putting down, and then you gotta put that on what they picked up. You gotta do it. So yeah, that's my main advice for how I improved. Also, finding an art style you really like. That's why my art style was so inconsistent, but also like still my art, that you could tell it was my art, like in all of it. I always have been inspired by the same 3 artists. Every once in a while some will switch, but there's like 3 artists I've always been inspired by. So I say take things you like about their art style. Art is about observing and making it your own. So observe what you like about it and then make it your own. Anyway, that's my advice. Okay, bye.